Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Speak Up Monday number 391. Let's clap. Woo-woo! It's a very special one for me tonight because I was given the opportunity to host for 3 programs. It's my last one. And tonight it is all about courage, passion, and entrepreneurship. And I am surrounded by 4 amazing singer-songwriter, musicians. Some of them are even producers and icons. So what we're going to do is we're going to really jump in because we have so many things to talk about. And I'm going to ask my first question to Ras. And just if you quickly introduce yourself, I just want your name here, this is who I am, and then you answer my question. And my question is, did you find music or did it find you?
Music found me.
Can you tell us a little bit more?
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. Speak Up Monday. My name is Egar, and I go by the stage name, creative name, and professional name, my nom de guerre, as Ras Mohamad. I've been playing and performing music for about 25 years, and the music that I've been involved in, that's about professionally 18 years. But I started playing music in the mid-90s, and my first ever gig that I did, I was in my teens. That was where I had my calling, because I'm actually quite a shy and introverted person, but then being on stage, I just found another part of me that I haven't found before. And actually, that the first stage is not reggae nor anything else, but it's hardcore music, because I grew up also in New York. And that's the very first time I was very encountered and also experienced what live music is supposed to be, So that is that. Does that answer your question?
That answers my question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sydney.
Yes, Carol. Same question.
Same question.
Okay. Thank you. I am Sydney Barnett, and I'm a singer-songwriter. And actually, I feel like I always had like this music thing deep inside of me, but it wasn't actually activated until probably like 3 years ago during the pandemic. And so did it call to me? Yeah, I think it called to me, and I think it calls to all of us on some level. But maybe only a certain amount of us say yes to that call. And I think during the pandemic, it was just a very special time here. I don't know how many of you guys were here, but the creative community was just flourishing. And I wanted to be a part of that. And that's, does that answer your question? Okay.
Okay, great. Brilliant. Yeah.
All right. It's my turn, I suppose.
Anastasia.
Hi, guys. My name is Anastasiia Navara, and my artistic name as I go by Golana. My calling to music was definitely forced on me in the womb of my mother, because all of my family and my parents, they're musicians. So I was born into music, I was born into sound, and then my parents actually gave me a lot of freedom when it came to choosing like what I actually want to do. They were happy for me to be a lawyer, they were happy for me to be a veterinarian, but I was just like, no, I'm just gonna keep doing what you guys do, and yeah, that's music called on me.
Thank you. Koné Gaston.
Koné Gaston. It's his French name. I speak French. My English is no perfect, no good. Yeah, because I want to speak in French and Carole translate a little bit. Yeah. Moi, c'est Gaston Koné. Mon nom d'artiste, c'est Koné.
Okay, my name is Gaston Koné, and my artist name is Koné.
Et la musique au Mali, c'est dans la vie, quotidien.
And the music in Mali, where Gaston comes from, which is in Western Africa, it's an everyday thing. It's really part of your life.
Donc, je ne sais pas quand j'ai trouvé la musique ou bien quand la musique m'a trouvé.
So I don't know when music found me or whether I found the music.
Parce que depuis tout petit, j'entendais, j'ai pratiqué et je l'ai vécu.
Since I was very, very small, I was listening to music, I practiced it, and I heard it too.
Donc, j'ai aimé la musique comme ça et je me suis engagé petit à petit dans l'église. Et après, quand j'étais en Allemagne, j'ai étudié en Allemagne, in Deutschland, in Germany. Donc, j'ai étudié la musique là-bas.
I developed music as part of being involved in the church, and then I eventually moved to Germany, and that's where I studied music at university, à l'université.
In the Pop Academy.
Yeah. Beautiful. So the reason I asked this question is because a lot of entrepreneurs are always looking for an idea of what it is that they can do. Yes, a service they can offer, a product that they can offer. And there is a lot now that we're talking about entrepreneurship, like you have to follow your passion. Yeah? So I was really interested in knowing whether that passion found you or whether you found it. So do you think that what really matters as a musician, as a composer, as a producer, is this understanding that you have a passion? For you, what it is that you're doing, is it a passion? And how did you move from it being a hobby into passion? We'll start with you, Anastasiia. Can you answer that question?
Of course.
And was it ever? And was for you? Was music ever a hobby, or was it just something that you wanted to do and that was it?
I mean, it's hard to say because when I was very young, I just sang. I was just, that loud kid in a room. That was me, making noises all the time, screaming, shouting, singing, high pitch, extremely high pitch, just for fun. And for that for me was just such a part of natural expression that transformed into passion. Just my childhood innocence and playfulness transformed me to like, I want to put some words. I started to write my first songs when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old. I can't remember a single one of them. I wrote hundreds, but I cannot remember any of them. But they were just like coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. And then I guess the moment I turned that into conscious passion was when I told my parents I want to go and study in music school. I want to learn music. And my parents didn't force me. They were just like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because they're musicians, they know how it goes and the struggles of it. And I insisted. So that was when it turned for me into something more than just for fun. Yeah.
Thank you. And what kind of actions did you take from passion then to make it your job? What happened in between that?
I guess it's just commitment when you start on this passion project, right? And you keep going. And for me, it was music school. And then naturally, of course, there were a lot of struggles in between, but I made a choice to continue with music because, frankly, I could not find anything that I liked more. And I tried, I looked, but I just could not bring myself. Just even the thought of going into the office just made my head ache. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep going with it and see where it takes me. It might take me nowhere. It might take me somewhere. And then commitment to the practice. I knew that I needed to do this professionally because I was so passionate about it and I wanted to be heard. I wanted a bigger stage. I wanted to sing to more people. I wanted to get in touch with many musicians all over the world. And I'm from a small town in Ukraine, so for me that was actually just committing to everyday practice. No matter what, I feel not good, I feel great, I feel sad, I feel, excited. Whatever emotion I have, I know that I need to practice. It's consistency. And that took me to some very beautiful places.
Wonderful, thank you. Ras, you're with me? Can you answer this question? Was music ever a hobby for you? Did it become a passion? And then how did you move from passion into making a living out of this passion? Because I don't know if anyone is aware, I know that for actors, only about 15% of actors are being paid to be actors. And I would imagine that it's probably a very similar figure for musicians. A lot of people are playing, in their room or singing in the shower. But to turn that into a business, it takes quite something in an environment that is incredibly competitive and really, really hard to get through.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess in my path, it's about evolving. At the beginning, it was a hobby. My parents supported me, so I'm very grateful for that. Alhamdulillah for that. They bought me my first acoustic guitar. They first bought me also a drum set and all of that. So it all started from there. But then afterwards, I started doing gigs and all of that, and became a passion for me. And I just can't live without music. I'm just surrounded with music all day. And that was the time when I was in New York. That was about in the 90s, and I got back to Indonesia 2005, and I figured that I make it a career out of it. So it just became that.
And how did you do that? I mean, kind of like, okay, I'm going to make a career out of it. And then I say that, and then suddenly, here you are. You are an icon. Everyone knows you. You go to the beach, and people ask for autographs,
Right.
So you've really made a success out of it. So how did that happen?
Well, I think it was just more of a focus and a drive of trying to at least make a buzz or make a change with whatever creative works that we are doing. That's the initial point. But I was involved with reggae music, and I felt that I had a responsibility coming back to Indonesia to spread about the culture and also spread the knowledge of reggae music, that reggae music is not just a genre, but it also is a culture. Because when I came back here in 2005, most of the bands in Indonesia, most of the local bands here, they just played more like Bob Marley songs and more of the top 40 hits and all of that. But I grew up in a different environment, so that was my thing that I had to do. I called myself the reggae ambassador, even though I don't take that title anymore. But that was good work for 13 years. And I worked also in radio for about 5 years in Jakarta. That was from 2010 to 2015. And I also released a book that was nationally published, and it became a national bestseller. That was 2013. So that was that. So, yeah, that's my career pretty much.
Thank you very much. Now, Koné.
Bon, comme j'ai si bien dit, la musique, c'est ma vie. C'était ma vie. Et l'Église m'a forgé.
So music is my life, and church really fashioned me. Actually, it fabricated me, it forged me.
Et dans la chorale, à l'église, j'ai commencé à apprendre des solfèges et à jouer le clavier et à jouer le djembé, des différents djembés, et basse djembé et solo djembé. Ouais.
So, I was going to speak in French. Confused. When I was part of the choral at church, I learned how to play the piano, and I also learned how to play the djembe with other people and also on my own.
Donc c'était normal pour moi. Et après ça, je me suis dit, ok, ça me fait du plaisir. Est-ce que je vais pas étudier? Mais mes parents n'ont pas ouvert la porte.
And after that, I thought it gives me so much pleasure. I would really love to study it. However, his parents, let's say they didn't open the door, yes, in order to support him.
Et après ça, j'ai étudié l'ingénierie du bâtiment. Je suis ingénieur du bâtiment au Mali.
Okay, and after that, I studied constructing building engineering. So that's his job in Mali.
Et après ça, quand j'étais en Allemagne, j'ai vu ce que je fais. C'était quelque chose de spécial pour les gens qui est chanter et jouer le djembé.
And when I was in Germany, I realized that what I was doing for people was very special when I was singing and playing the djembe.
Et là, un groupe m'a dit d'adhérer le groupe. Et après avoir adhéré, et un producteur m'a vu. Et là, il m'a proposé d'aller à l'université étudier.
Wow. So after, in Germany, he found a group that was also playing. So they asked him, they invited him in. And a producer heard him and said, you know what, I want you to go to university. So he invited him as well to go to university. So, il a payé tes...
Non, et j'ai postulé à l'université Pop Academy de Mannheim. C'était très difficile. C'est les élites de l'Allemagne qui vont là-bas. Donc, j'ai fait les concours de rentrée là-bas et j'ai été admis.
Okay, so he applied to the university. It's called Pop Academy. It's one of the biggest, the most well-known, hardest music school to get into. And he had to have a entry exam, and he passed the exam, so he got accepted. Yeah, and it was very, very hard to get into.
Et quand j'ai passé l'examen, j'ai appris l'allemand. I speak Deutsch. Ja, Deutsch fließen. Du verstehst auch ein bisschen.
Ich verstehe ein bisschen.
Ja, je parle l'allemand couramment et j'ai appris ça à l'université. Et donc là, c'est devenu ma profession, ma seconde profession.
Donc, that's it. So I learned German, and then I made music my job, my profession. Yes.
Voilà.
Et comment tu as gagné de l'argent au début en Allemagne avec ta musique? How did you start earning money in Germany from your music?
Yeah, bon, le groupe, j'avais différents groupes et mon groupe de l'université.
Okay, so I was part of different groups, of different bands, and then I also belonged to the university band. That's how I earned money.
Et j'ai donné des cours à l'école primaire.
And I was teaching at primary school as well.
Et j'ai travaillé avec les handicapés. Parce que je faisais ça au Mali aussi.
Okay, and I worked with disabled people because I also used to play for disabled people in Mali.
Coordination training.
Okay, so learning how to coordinate your body together with the rhythm of the music. Yeah, so.
Donc j'ai fait ça à l'Allemagne, dans les écoles, différentes écoles, et comme ça j'ai gagné ma vie. Et j'ai créé une petite école de djembé pour les adultes.
Okay, and I also created a small school teaching djembe to adults as well. Beautiful. Now, Sydney.
Okay, thanks so much. I have an older sister, and I grew up like absolutely wanting to do everything that she was doing. And my parents put her in piano lessons, and I just couldn't stand it. Like, I was like, I need to be in piano lessons like my older sister. And so I begged, and finally my parents were like, okay, fine, you can take piano lessons. And I wish I could tell you guys that, like, I immediately got passionate about piano, and then I went to Juilliard and whatever. I didn't. I actually really didn't like it at all. And yeah, I was a really bad student. And I remember one day I had a piano recital, and my grandma was there in the audience. And my grandma was like a choir director for like 40 years, and she has a lot of experience, and she's an amazing singer. And after the recital, she came up to me and she was like, look, you're not the best piano player. And I was like, damn, grandma. But she was like, you know, you're not the most skilled here, but what you have that these other kids don't have is that you can feel the music. And she was like, I could feel you pouring your emotion into that song. And at the time, I think I was like 10 or something, and I didn't really think much about it. And I think that was the first hint that I carry this like love for music deep down inside. But again, I was like, I don't know, I was so academically driven. I wanted to be like the golden child in my family, and whatever my parents wanted me to do, I did that. And I'm so, yeah, I'm so grateful for that. Like, I had a great education. I was able to go to university on a scholarship, but I wasn't living for me, to be honest. And I really burned out with school. And when I graduated from university, I was like, I want a gap year. So I started to travel abroad. And that's where I could finally like explore what I like to do. And that led me from so many things. Like I went to like a plant-based culinary school and I was like, I like cooking. This is cool. And then I was teaching English and I was like, I like to be a teacher. This is awesome. And then I came to Bali actually to be a plant-based chef. So guys, music was like not on my radar at all. But I got here and then the pandemic hit and I just like really connected with the local music scene, which was just poppin'. And I was like being a little groupie, following around all these bands and just like hanging out in this amazing creative community. They encouraged me, and I can think of a specific moment. I was at this party. I was actually catering the party. And the band that was at the party kind of opened up the floor to everyone, like, hey, does anyone want to come up and jam? And I was exhausted from cooking at that private party. Like, my inhibitions were lowered. And I was just like, sure, I'll sing a song. And I got up there and I sang a song. And just like everyone at the party just stopped what they were doing and looked. And it was just like a movie moment. It was just crazy. And afterwards, the band, they were like, hey, look, you got a voice. You should try writing originals. And then I was like, that's a challenge I want to rise to. And from all of this, I can say that my passion came back. Like, I go back to what my grandma said. Like, I realized that I really feel music, like deeply, deeply feel it. And especially when it's my own creation, it's like a way for me to feed my soul. I think a lot of hobbyists, they play because they want to like improve their skills versus like someone with a passion, it's literally feeding your soul. And yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. So we're about to hear Sydney play.
Right now.
Yes. However, I'm just kind of like wondering where the guitar is. So let's call the guitar.
Devin, saya orang Malang.
We need one. Hello. Yeah. Amazing. Come. That's it. Well, now you're part of the decor. That's it. You know, it's all very convivial. Voila. There we are. Do you want to swap seats? Yeah. And then get brilliant. So, Sydney, your song is new, yes? It's pretty new because I heard it a few weeks ago. I really loved it, so I'm really happy that you're playing it. And it's got a very interesting title. I think it's funny. That's one of the reasons I want you to sing it. Everyone, it's called Disappointing Hipster.
Okay. Are you going to hold this for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Look at that. Amazing. That one.
Beli?
Guzman?
Bisa tolong yang lain, yang mic yang satu ini.
Brilliant. So we'll have performances by everyone. So it's going to get a little bit chaotic, obviously.
Yes.
But I love it. That's art and that's creation. And we've got a little surprise for everyone at the end of the program as well.
Hello? Check? Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Brilliant.
awesome. Very quickly, I just want to say that I'm learning the guitar. And yeah, so this is like a very recent work. It's literally 2 chords, and it's called Disappointing Hipster. And I put like in my bio for this thing that I'm a whimsical folk storyteller, and I think you're about to see that. Okay. My 2 chords are E and A. poetry. You said my dog chewed it up a bit. Apologies. Oh, what a babe to put on your line. You said, actually, I never read it, but I didn't mind. You collect vintage pajama sets, silk and satin is what you wear to bed. Go ahead, pick one you like. Actually, I didn't wear it long, but I didn't mind. So why'd you have to make me feel so sane? All those times we couldn't stop laughing. I thought, hey, someone gets me. I heard you moved 5 minutes down the street, but I still haven't heard a peep. I thought we were friends at least. At least. But your attention was cheap. Called me from the London Tube. It'd been weeks since I heard from you. Said you'd bring me back crumpets and tape, but your charm, it's lost on me. So sane, all those times we couldn't stop laughing. I thought, hey, someone gets me. Now you moved 5 minutes down the street, and I still haven't heard a peep. Thought we were friends at least. So why'd you have to make me feel so sane? All those times we couldn't stop laughing. I thought, hey, someone gets me. And I still got your book of poetry. Yeah, that one you didn't even read, reminding me at least that some attention is cheap. La la la, la la la, la la la. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
That was amazing.
Thanks.
And it's from someone who didn't know she could sing 3 years ago, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love what you spoke to, which is this thing about passion and about the fact that passion is not obvious and passion can be hidden,
Yeah.
and then it can be reignited
Yeah.
through something completely innocuous.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because it means that our life just hangs at the mercy of one little decision, one little event, and our ability to listen to it and to engage in it and to say yes to the calling, which is something that you mentioned earlier. Now, what I would love to talk about is those challenges, because it's one thing to say, yes, 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 I'm going to do this. It's another thing to make it happen. Yeah. So what I would love to know, and we'll start with you, Ras. I'll just give a little bit of respite to Sydney. What were your main challenges, and what are still, is there one thing, actually I'll be interested by the thing that you struggle with the most till now, today.
Okay.
But what were some of the challenges that you had to face and overcome in order to become who you are now?
The challenges I had to face were external and internal. So it's both. But I guess, looking back at my career, starting from 2005 when I got back to Indonesia, things were different back then. The digital streams or digital world wasn't really existing. Music wasn't really heard through digital platforms and all of that. And I think I was very blessed because I was doing something extremely different that nobody had in Indonesia, especially with the category or label of reggae. I was doing a bit of one of the subgenres of reggae music that's called dancehall. So I was exposing the mainstream to that, and that created a buzz and also created controversies and all of that. So those were the challenges that I had to change and all of that, And it was during that time where, I'm pretty much 18 years independent artist. So I had a distribution that I was working with, and they distributed my album. I think I pressed my first time was like 3,000, but during that time, bootlegging was very much crazy. So I pressed 3,000, the bootleggers would press 10,000. So for me, I think I gained a lot because I gained a name from that. So that was a different thing. But I guess now the challenge, it's more internal because I've been doing it so long. I feel like there is like a box that surrounds me, and I'm not just a one-dimensional reggae artist, So there comes the entrepreneurship of me, whereas I'm sitting also in a gold mine of my own albums in which I haven't released through a digital platform. So I made my own label and all of that, and it's gonna be started to release as of next year. So
that's beautiful. And you're working on that album right now, yes?
Yeah, yes. The newest album in which I've evolved more into a producer, singer-songwriter, music consultant, and also a creative consultant. Because the thing is, if I do that without releasing this new project, people be like, "What? You've been doing reggae for 18 years?" Yeah, bro. But I'm a hardcore kid, metalhead, hip-hop geek that grew up in New York. That's a big part of me that I have not shown. So this new album will represent who I am and what I am and where I can push myself to the limits, I think with this new album, I would define it as a collision of a underground metal spirit and punk ethos on a hip-hop highway. So people be like,
Wow, okay.
So it's pretty much I would call it it's future music. It was just that hip-hop heads come to metal shows, that metal heads come to hip-hop shows and all of that. And
I so love this thing about multidimensional because people love to put you in a box,
Yeah, of course.
And we put ourselves in a box because it feels very, very
feels
safe.
Very comfortable.
Exactly.
Feels very comfortable.
And the idea that you are now getting out of that box, and of course you're going to disappoint some people.
Of course.
So, do you think that this idea of really breaking outside of our internal limitations is an essential thing to do when you are an entrepreneur? You think about rewriting yourself, pushing yourself, engaging in and taking on different roles.
Yes, it's very important. It's very, very, very important. I draw inspiration from David Bowie. I think he once said, like, you've been like swimming in this particular waters for like so long, you're not being yourself. You're not being yourself as an artist. Go swim further. He said, if you can't feel your feet on bottom, you're at the right spot. So that's where I'm at.
Beautiful. I love that. And I also love the fact that you found something that was very unique, yes? But it's not only about finding something unique and special, because when you started, you had reggae and it wasn't there. But what I felt from you is that it was about a message. It was more than, let me sell something that's different. It was, here I come, and I'm going to be the ambassador of reggae, and I have a mission. Yes? And I love the idea of being an entrepreneur with a message.
Thank you.
Because it's much more than just selling something.
Yeah.
It gives a soul, yes, to what you're doing. So that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Koné, les défis. Quels ont été les défis que tu as rencontrés et quel est le défi le plus important que tu rencontres maintenant?
Et les défis que j'ai rencontrés, c'est que j'ai vu beaucoup de gens qui vont en Afrique, qui apprennent la tradition africaine, et pas très profond. Et quand j'étais en Europe, et que je donne des sessions live africaines, donc ça dérangeait. C'était un grand défi de me retrouver.
Okay, so that's fascinating. His biggest challenge when he started teaching djembe to white people is that he found that there was a depth of understanding of what it meant that just wasn't there. Yes, and it was difficult to carry or to explain that, because there were a lot of people that were playing the instrument but really did not understand what that instrument actually means.
Et donc, quand tu essaies d'expliquer, parce qu'en Europe, ils se disent spécialistes de quelque chose qu'ils ne connaissent pas.
So when you try to explain, especially to people who think that who call themselves experts of something that they actually do not know.
Donc, quand moi, en tant qu'Africain, qui connaît la tradition, quand je joue quelque part, ça les frustre. Ils sont frustrés.
So me as an African, when I play my instrument, it frustrates these people.
Donc, du coup, ça m'a gêné parce qu'au début, je pensais qu'on était amis, mais ils m'ont vu après comme concurrents.
Okay, at the beginning I thought we were friends, but then soon I understood that we actually were competitors.
Et donc ça m'a beaucoup fait mal de donner ma tradition que je connais, que j'ai vécue, aux autres qui en ont besoin aussi pour sentir l'énergie africaine, sentir la tradition aux sources et la spiritualité qui vient avec le djembé.
And that really hurt me, because all I want to do is actually really teach the spirit of Africa and the spirit of the djembe and the soul of the djembe to people.
Donc, de m'adapter au concept moderne aussi de l'université, les cours théoriques que je connaissais, et d'apprendre ça, c'était un grand défi encore. De me réduire en petit et reprendre encore ce que je connais.
Okay, and the other challenge was to be at university and to learn the theory of something that I already knew, and I had to shrink myself because I couldn't actually show that I knew these things. So I had to be almost someone who didn't know anything. Yes, and that was very constrictive.
Et j'ai vu aussi que la tradition africaine est très très importante. Beaucoup veulent adhérer à la spiritualité africaine, être proches aux sources, mais ils font à moitié.
A lot of people want to be connected to the African tradition and to their origins, but they only go halfway.
Donc à l'université, ça m'a forgé aussi de me rapprocher beaucoup à la culture.
So I was almost, because I had to shrink, yes, I was almost forced to get closer to my culture. It was a form of defense. Ça, c'était un système de défense. Hein?
Un système de défense, de connexion.
Yeah, a system of defense and connection and belonging.
Et pour pouvoir donner la vraie tradition.
And because I really wanted to give the true soul, to communicate the true soul of the tradition and of the culture and of the djembé.
Donc, et mélanger avec le moderne, ça m'a aidé aussi. Donc, d'apprendre pop musique, pop instruments et world music, et darbuka, et indi sharaga, balama, oud, yeah. All these instruments, j'ai étudié ça à l'université aussi. Donc, j'ai essayé de mélanger la culture africaine à la culture d'Inde, la culture turque.
Okay. Ouais. But what I really loved is the way that I learned more instruments, and then I was able to create fusion between instruments, especially from Turkey, with mine, yes. And I also learned pop music, so I had to mix those genres, and mixing the genre really also helped me communicate.
Donc ça, c'était un défi pour moi, et un challenge.
Et est-ce qu'il y a un défi as-tu un défi que tu as maintenant, que tu expériences maintenant?
Oui, et c'est la même chose ici au Bali. On a beaucoup de spirituels qui disent que...
Yeah, the challenge that I'm facing is the same here in Bali. We have a lot of people pretending they're spiritual, but they're not.
Et non, bon, spirituel, mais quand on joue avec un djembé, on frappe pas son djembé.
When you play a djembé, you don't hit the djembé. Yeah, you fais l'amour.
Oui.
You make love to the djembé.
On est connecté.
Yeah, you're connected to it. Ouais. Yeah.
Donc, quand tu frappes et tu fais des bruits, après, les gens n'aiment pas.
When you hit it and you make noise, people don't like it.
Et ça te fait mal toi-même.
And it hurts you, you know, as someone who plays.
Après, tu te plains, ma main est rouge, ma main...
And then after you complain and your fingers hurt and your hand hurt.
Voilà, yeah. Donc, quand tu joues un instrument comme ça, comme djembé, il faut comprendre comment se connecter avec.
When you play an instrument like the djembé, you have to understand how to connect with it.
Donc, ici à Bali, il y a des gens qui ont appris un peu le djembé en Afrique, par exemple, et qui font des événements ici de djembé. Et je voulais travailler avec eux. C'était un défi. Et c'est maintenant très compliqué parce qu'on ne te laisse pas ouvrir la porte.
And the same thing about competition. You know, it's obviously it's a small market, so. There are people who are already playing at events, and then trying to play together is also an issue because they are not opening the door. Yeah, everyone is kind of keeping their little world.
Donc, du coup, je joue très souvent dans les kirtan maintenant.
So I play in kirtan.
Et je joue au open mic.
And I do open mics.
Voilà, donc avec certains musiciens au festival Soara et Bali Spiriti, donc je joue là-bas souvent. Ouais.
And there are other musicians as well that are open to collaboration, but it is an issue.
Donc c'est ça.
Competition, entrepreneurship, competition, absolutely. Sydney. I'm sorry, I was kind of like so. What was my question? I forgot.
After my performance,
that's it. You're gone. We were talking about challenges. Yes.
Oh yeah. That was
So, what were some of the challenges that you faced, and what is one challenge that you're facing now?
Oh gosh. Wow. Only one. I think for me, I really want to learn more about the music industry and the business, because there are so many opportunities within the business. Like, there are so many different roles and jobs that you can have, and I don't even know what the possibilities are. So right now I'm like singing and I'm songwriting, but I just want to explore a bit more. So I'm trying to empower myself by reading more about the industry and networking here in Bali with other amazing creatives like you guys. And yeah, I think my challenge with that is that it's such an overwhelming business and it's changing constantly. Like even this book that I was reading, it's like already outdated because it doesn't even talk about TikTok and stuff. So I think that's a big challenge, like learning the business, but also staying on top of it. Yeah. And what was the second part of the question?
So I was asking about the past and the present. So you kind of spoke about the present, but what were some of the
Issue in the
things?
past.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, self-doubt. I'm sure you guys could also speak on that with me. We could write whole books on that, self-doubt. And I think that's just part of the process. Just, I don't know, you can't use logic to justify, like, going into music. Like, as you said, the competition is just crazy and the odds are just so small. But, like, I think just kind of forgetting logic and just leaning into your intuition and I don't know, answering that call, like I said before. And yeah, self-doubt, it takes so many forms, whether it's self-sabotage, self-doubt, or like negative self-talk. And just, I think being in community with other musicians and bonding over that we all face helps a lot. And that's why I'm really thankful to Bali and the amazing community here. Yeah.
Beautiful. Anastasia, some of your challenges, and actually I would love to address this idea that Ras mentioned about this getting outside of the box, because you're classically trained.
Yeah.
Yes, you're an opera singer.
Yes.
By formation, by training.
Yeah.
But it's no longer what you're doing.
No.
Or not only what you are doing. So how did you maneuver that change? And what kind of self-doubt did you experience as a result?
Thank you. Great question. For me, the path into where I am now musically has not been easy. And generally, as much as encouragement I had when I was growing up, there were other challenges on the way that really could have set me down and I would have stopped singing altogether. There was a head of my department. I was doing choir conducting music college. When I told her I'm actually changing my mind, I'm going to do choir conducting for university, she sighed with relief and said, "Oh my God, thank God, you're not going to be a good singer. You're going to be a good choir singer, but not good solo singer." And then I was shattered. My heart just like sank into me. But that also kind of pushed the fire inside of me saying like, no, actually, you are not going to tell me what I can do or what I can't do. And I kept pursuing. And then a year after that conversation, I got accepted in London in the conservatoire called Guildhall School of Music and Drama on scholarship, doing opera, doing solo singing. So something that really like a lot of crisis moments that I had. And then after in conservatoire, when the war started in Ukraine, first 2014, I also experienced my godfather got killed in the war. I'm from the east of the country, and a lot of changes happened. My parents were not able to help me financially at all, even though I had my school fees covered, but I didn't know what I can feed with myself, what I can pay for my rent, so I had to work 3 jobs while studying at this extremely high competitive environment, literally applying for grants, funds, whatever I could, just so I can go into Tesco and buy that reduced sandwich that I can eat for dinner. That was like about a year of my life that was extremely challenging and extremely difficult, but that also, as much as it traumatized me, after, but it also pushed me to be like, no, this is the lowest point I am in. I cannot, there is no, this is the bottom, this is the floor, I'm touching it. I need to jump up. And then from that moment, I jumped up, but also then there was a moment of discouragement in my career, which was, opera world is like any show business, but old show business, like quite old school, a lot of old money, a lot of old beliefs, and approach to women is not very nice. And I've experienced that firsthand. So I was like, you know what? I've been working so hard to get here, and I'm here. What's next? And then the next step, then my boyfriend, now husband, we went to Asia And I started to go more into meditation and yoga and just kind of trying to find answers instead of externally. What is wrong with the world? Why is this? Why the opera industry is misogynistic? Why I'm, why do I have to stay in competition with people who are getting in not for merit but for who they know? And it annoyed me that I cannot get through the door by merit. You had to know someone, and that was really frustrating for me. And so I started to look inside and finding like what kind of things I can find. And I realized that I don't want to be in the opera box anymore. I realized that that was a box that was like my safety, that I was like, okay, I'm climbing this ladder. And then I looked around, actually there is no ladder and there is a field and I can run wherever I want. And that's what happened. And I started to explore different genres. At first, I think I went more into jazz. And then I started to explore kirtan, like yourself, and sing different mantras. I actually even went to India to study something called Nada Yoga, which is yoga of sound, to go deeper on the subject because I love exploring. And right now, I am also doing a training which more jazz and pop singing. So that kind of transitioned me, my finding of myself and like listening to myself, like who I am, and allowing myself, I don't have to limit myself to what I've been trained to do. I don't have to limit myself to what I've been told I can or I cannot do. And I started to experiment, remembering my childhood songwriting experiments. It's like, why do I have to compose only classical music when I can compose something different? I always loved jazz, and I always loved rock music. Freddie Mercury and Queen is like my biggest crush, and I listen to them. I know all of their songs probably by heart now. And it's just going into that creative space of I can do whatever I want. I can, if I can do it, then it means this is the creativity that needs to pour out of me. Today I sing more opera, tomorrow I sing more jazz, the day after I sing pop, or maybe the day after that I'll sing some kirtan. But this is the flexibility which you find with the voice, and actually this is the mission of my whole journey on this planet, is to raise universal vibrations, is to help people find their voice. And this is the name of my school, which is Find Your Voice, which helps people to find their creative voice, their internal voice, their singing voice. And that's the kind of all ties in with my personal creativity.
Beautiful. Let's hear your voice.
All right. I'm just going to use a different mic. Check. All right, let me just introduce quickly my song. This song is going to be a part of my album release, which hopefully will happen soon, early next year. And I'm working hard to prepare it. This is something not operatic, so I'm excited to share this with you. The song called Edge of the Earth. And the song is about coming to yourself and coming to meet others in order to find that thing that will help you to grow together. It's all right, I can keep talking about the song. Yeah? In my dreams I fly away, and I see the stars. Will you ever hear my prayer, searching truth for us? Thank you. That's the first time I performed this song with backing track. I normally play my piano, so it was a very interesting experience. Thank you, guys.
Beautiful. I can clearly see that you love Queen. That's for sure.
I warned you. That was a hint.
I love the title because this thing about going to the edge, yes, going to the edge of your ideas, going to the edge of yourself in order to put your ideas into something, into creating something. And I think that demands also a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah.
So I'd love to talk to that. I'd love to talk about the sacrifices that you've made. Sydney.
I don't know. I can't really think of any sacrifices, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Or at least every sacrifice that I've made, like, I'm really happy that I did that. Like, I wouldn't change anything. I guess
Can I ask about all of you, all of us, have left home, yes? Yeah. So how does it feel to be creating something outside of your home?
Oh, I could speak on that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, my family lives in Nashville, which is Music City. And I feel like it's kind of the big leagues. And I love coming to Bali. Oh, we had a head shake in the audience. Oh, you're good. Maybe maybe I don't know because I haven't actually lived in America for like 7 years. But I think that I think of the American music business as like really next level, and I think that I'm still like mustering up the courage to go back there and like connect with other musicians in Nashville and go to open mics in Nashville and like really trying to muster up the courage. It's a challenge to be away from family, 100%. It literally takes me like 3 days to get home, and that is such a painful journey. But I only see my family like once a year, and during the pandemic, I didn't see them at all for 3 years. That was really hard. But I can say, being a creative entrepreneur, it's like a little bit about skill, a little bit about talent, and so much about your community. And my community here, it's like really irreplaceable to me. And that's why I think like in my ideal future, maybe like 5 years down the road, I would love to do like half my year in Bali creating, getting inspired, and then half my year in the States, like connecting with people over there, touring. That would be awesome. And I know there's an artist here in Bali, Michael Franti, that does that, and he does it very well. So I'm going to copy Michael Franti. And yeah.
Beautiful, thank you. I want to ask the same thing to you, Koné. Est-ce que tu as dû faire des sacrifices pour créer ce que tu as fait et commencer de créer quelque chose loin de ton pays?
Oui, parce que quand j'ai été en Allemagne, je ne voulais pas faire la musique. Je voulais continuer dans le bâtiment, parce que c'est ça que je connaissais. Je travaillais avec un architecte italien. Et là, j'ai connu ma femme au Mali comme stagiaire. Elle était dans notre bureau comme stagiaire. Parce qu'on faisait des projets, en fait, je construisais des écoles dans les villages éloignés pour aider les villages qui sont très pauvres, qui sont loin du village.
Okay, so when I went to Germany, I actually didn't want to do music. I wanted to continue doing what I was doing, which was building schools in very far away villages in the middle of Mali.
Et donc, je construisais des écoles pour des pauvres et aussi, on faisait avec le village. C'est pour cela qu'on était connus en Europe.
So he worked with a bureau, an architect bureau, an Italian one, and what they were well known for was to build these schools, these village schools, that were for very poor people in Mali.
Donc, du coup, on créait sur place avec les villageois, on leur donnait les techniques pour que quand c'est gâté, ils n'ont pas besoin de nous.
So they taught villagers how to build those schools and buildings so that they didn't need them. So the idea was teaching. Yes, very much like community architecture, I would say.
Donc ça m'a manqué quand j'étais en Europe.
So I really missed doing that when I went to Germany. That was a big sacrifice for me.
Et mon projet, c'était de gagner l'argent avec des partenaires et aussi de créer une bibliothèque.
And what I wanted initially was to earn money in order to set up a library.
Donc, quand j'étais en Allemagne, ils n'ont pas reconnu mes diplômes.
So same old story, yeah? When he went to Germany, they did not recognize his qualification. They didn't accept them as normal qualification.
Parce que c'était en français.
Because it was in French.
Yeah.
Suck the Germans.
Et ce n'était pas la qualité d'Allemagne, de Germany.
Yeah, it wasn't the quality that they expected.
Yeah.
So,
Voilà, donc du coup, je vous ai dit au début, j'ai connu un musicien et donc à travers eux, ils ont vu que j'ai un autre talent. Donc j'ai commencé la musique.
Mais,
donc,
et quel sacrifice tu as fait donc de partir de ton pays?
Donc de laisser ma famille, de laisser ses projets.
Yeah, what I had to sacrifice was the fact that I had to leave my family. Tu as aussi rencontré ta femme là-bas?
Oui, au Mali.
Yeah,
mais elle est allemande.
Ah, okay. And I also met my wife in Mali, but she actually happened to be German. And forget about this project that I had, planned of these schools and this library.
Donc c'était un petit sacrifice pour moi donc, de laisser les projets, de recommencer à zéro en Allemagne.
And I had to start from zero again. Yes, so that was of course Koné calls that a small sacrifice. What I love to do is for you to play and sing for us now, and I'll introduce the song. Si tu peux jouer maintenant?
Oui, je
Très
peux
bien.
jouer. Oui.
So the name of the song is called Mama Africa.
Mama Africa. Mama Africa, j'ai écrit ça quand j'étais en Allemagne.
I wrote it when I was in Germany.
Et j'ai vu beaucoup de jeunes Africains qui ont pris les bateaux. Certains sont morts. Et quand ils arrivent en Allemagne ou bien en Europe, en Italie, et ils sont déçus. Ils n'ont pas l'Eldorado qu'ils ont tant rêvé.
So when I was in Germany, I saw many young Africans that took the boat to escape the continent, and they arrived in Europe, in Italy, or in Germany, and I saw the disappointment on their face because they didn't find the El Dorado, that they were hoping for. So that's a song that speaks to that.
Et donc j'ai essayé d'aider les gens à créer des événements en Allemagne, donc pour aider les jeunes et mes connaissances, mes contacts pour que certaines peuvent avoir des papiers.
So I also tried to help them and created events, and through my connections, I wanted to help them get official papers so that they could stay.
Donc un jour j'ai eu le Mama Africa dans ma tête.
And one day I woke up and I had Mama Africa in my head.
Et j'ai dit que tous ces jeunes qui sont là, ils sont perdus parce qu'ils ne peuvent pas retourner et ils sont frustrés en Allemagne ou bien en Europe.
And all these young people, they are lost and they are frustrated because they are very far away from their home.
Donc j'ai dit, Africa a perdu beaucoup des enfants.
Africa has lost many children.
Ça, c'est Mama Africa.
This is Mama Africa.
Mic stand lagi.
So one thing that we were talking about, challenges and sacrifices, yes? And the fact that when we create something, it never comes very easily. So this idea, I know that in Bali we're all about easy flow and easy happening, but I dare saying that this is not necessarily reality.
It's okay. Follow nanai kachebao mine Katano ye Jonya jurula Follow nanai kamuso mine Katau fere Iko bakau Follow iden chaman ke falaye Kadugu chaman ke tomoye Kika na poluta Mama Africa Chamambora ila Mama Africa Odeya tu ibeko Mama Africa Chamambora ila Mama Africa Odeya tu ibeko Bi Beri va fola Qui est fantaye Kobana be deuna Bi Beri va fola Qui est fantaye Kokongo be deuna Bi Beri va fola Ki de umbeka bola kata urutoro Mama Africa Jamambora ila Mama Africa Odeya tu ibeko Mama Africa Jamambora ila Mama Africa Odeya tu ibeko Oko kube andeme, oko kube ambilasira, oko kube andeme, notre éducation est bafouillée. Oko kube andeme, oko kube ambilasira, oko kube andeme, kasoro olu de Sirilendo on Mama Africa. Ah. Jamambora ila Mama Africa Oreya tu ibeka Mama Africa Jamambora ila Mama Africa Oreya tu ibeka. Thank you.
Beautiful. So we're drawing towards the end of the talk show, but I want to tell everyone that we will have an opportunity for question and answer. So please, if you have questions, or if you don't have one, think of one. I want to ask one last question to everyone. And it is, if you didn't have music, who do you think you would be today?
Me again. All right. I don't know who I'd be today. All the things that I've done in my life has been revolved around music. When I was working at a radio, that itself was music. I was a host and also an engineer and all of that. So everything revolves around creation. I don't know.
Have you ever been forced to operate without music in your life?
Come again? Sorry?
Have you ever been put in a situation where you could not engage with music in your life? Like, if I took music away from you, what would happen to you?
I don't know. To me, music saves lives. Music is therapeutic. I mean, that itself, speaking from personal experience, I've gone through a tough time the past 3 to 4 years, and channeling my past, in which, I've been doing reggae for about 18 years, channeling that, they represent, and also they talk to me. We have conversations together. Music truly saves lives, So I don't know where I'd be without music. Everything is music. Everything is sound. The way we walk, it's the rhythm. The way we knock, it's a rhythm. The way we talk is even a rhythm. Like Frank Zappa, once he wrote a composition out of his trial, during his trial, when he was asked about music, and he's like, you know what? Music is an amazing thing. I just wrote something I wrote it in composition what we spoke about. So maybe with this, in like 40, 50 years, without even recording anything like that, it can be written in composition, and they know exactly how we sounded. They know exactly how we talked with the speech pattern and all of that. Everything is music, So I don't know. To me, I think humans cease to become humans if we don't have creativity. So I don't know where we are. Yeah.
And if we don't have a voice as well to play that music, because all of us, that's our own instrument.
As in the inner voice, yeah.
Yes,
the inner voice,
exactly.
true.
So it really, and that rhythm is something that is so special, and it's something that is very seductive. I mean, I don't know about anyone, but one of the things that really is very attractive into someone when you fall in love is their voice and the way they speak. Yes. It's either something that's like, don't think so, or something that's like, woo, I know where I'm going to be tonight. Anastasiia, who would you be? Where would you be if music hadn't entered your life? Is there something that, I don't know, that maybe your family, well, actually you come from a family of musicians.
Yes, so it's a difficult question for me.
But you might still be an opera singer, you might still, like...
You know what, I think if the music, if I didn't follow the footpaths of what my kind of life turned out to be, if I didn't follow my passion, my other passion is helping people and helping animals. And I think when I was young, very young, also around the same time when I wanted to be a star, I wanted to have a shelter for animals, for dogs and cats, as there are a lot of homeless dogs and cats. So I think maybe I would have done that. But as Ras said, I can completely agree with you. Like, music is in everything. Everything is vibration. We close our eyes, and what is left of us is our sound, right? Is our part of identity, as the part of how we show up in the world and how we show up for ourselves. And for me, music is magic. It's pure magic. If I would not have music, the emotions that I live through the music that I write, it would be very, very expensive and many years in therapy. And I can just write one song and it's out. And I'm like, oof, that was good. That was out. And it can happen as fast as 20 minutes sometimes, or 15 minutes. I'm just like, it's coming out. So yeah, helping animals, helping people. But with music, world is just so much better.
Gorgeous. Sydney? Because music came into your life quite late, yeah? So let's say that no one had said anything.
Yeah, so actually I studied speech-language pathology, and I learned all about the voice through that, and I actually did a lot of research on vocal function. And I think that I probably would be a speech therapist, and I think that I would... be working with people to repair their voices and to improve their voices. But let's say, for example, we're in a world and there's no music. What would I want to do? Something creative, definitely. I think writing, just take out the song from songwriting, I would be writing. Yeah.
I love this idea of, okay, let's go to Koné. Imagine you're in a world where there is no music. What is it that you do?
C'est très difficile de dire ça.
It's very difficult to say that.
Parce que la musique était autour de moi, dans moi, partout.
Because the music was around me, it was in me, it was everywhere when I grew up.
Si je n'allais pas prendre ce chemin, j'allais être militaire.
Wow. Okay. So if I had not taken that path, I would have become a soldier.
Mais à mon gré. Parce que je viens de 4 générations. Je suis la 4e que j'ai cassé.
Okay, because I come from 4 generations
Militaire familial.
of soldiers. So and he broke that.
The last generation is me.
So, talking about courage, yes.
Les premiers enfants vont chez nous, dans la famille, dans le rituel, deviennent militaires. Et grâce à mon père, il m'a pas forcé.
Okay, the firstborn have always entered military service. That's the ritual. Yes, it's no escaping. However, his father did not force him to do that.
Et quand il a vu que je suis dans les aides, aider les gens, et même dans mes études, je me suis engagé dans une école des handicapés pour les aider.
And especially when his dad saw that he was always helping others and actually being of service to disabled people in his country, then that convinced his father as well.
Donc mon père m'a pas forcé d'être militaire. Je pense que quand je n'allais pas être militaire, j'allais être éducateur des enfants handicapés.
Yeah, and if I hadn't been a soldier, then I would have become an educator to work with disabled children.
Donc, du coup, musique est dans moi et dans les enfants.
Oh, so music is in me and now it's in these children.
Parce que tout ce que les enfants font, c'est la musique.
And everything that children do is music.
Yeah. Donc, j'allais trouver la musique quelque part qui n'est pas forcément d'être musicien.
So I was going to find music or some kind of music that would be shaped in some kind of way without having to be a musician. And I think that is such a beautiful way of actually going full circle on entrepreneurship. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you're playing your own music, yes? And now you've got to find your own voice and you've got to find your own sound and you've got to put that out to the world. So this idea of actually looking at it from the perspective of what is the tune that I'm going to play out to the world? What are the lyrics that I'm adding to the song that I'm putting out? That's a very beautiful way of looking at entrepreneurship. So thank you so much for really contributing that, because a lot of people think of musicians and they think, first of all, as artists, but they don't see the hard work of transforming this art into money. And I would say that it's even more challenging to be a creative entrepreneur or musician or a painter or a writer than it is another kind of more, can say, normal entrepreneur. So that was very, very beautiful. Before, actually, what do we do? Question. Let me take a question now. Does anyone have a question? Questions? Aha. I'm seeing people thinking. I have this position of the thinker from Rodin all in the public. Very good. Inga, question. Beautiful, thank you. I need another me in the audience all the time that you can always, that is always going to ask questions. Inga.
Okay, my question for you is, if you, like standard question, but it's an interesting one, I think. If you could give yourself some advice when you were a kid or maybe 15, 20 years ago, what would you say?
You want to start? Yeah, we'll go.
I would say, you go, girl, first of all. And then I would say, I would just say really encouraging words like, hey, look, you do you. I don't know. I would just like hype myself up and give myself permission, like, hey, look, you've got this dream, go for it. And, just be yourself, be authentic and have fun. Life's too short, that whole thing. Yeah. Positivity.
Beautiful. Ras.
Oh man, my 15-year-old self? Oh, I go to school. Yes, the thing is, all right. In my high school, when I grew up, and no one was really into music, so that bored the shit out of me. And my friends were older, and they graduated, of course, high school before me. So then I cut school a lot, hung out with them and all of that. But if I had a time machine, I would tell myself, like, hey man, go to school. You're still gonna see your friends. You're still gonna hang out. You're still gonna listen to records and all of that. still have time. So that's the only thing, probably like the biggest regrets in my life. It's just like telling my younger self to like go to school.
I think that's gorgeous because that also speaks to community. And we spoke about community, but it's definitely the reason why I'm staying here. It's community. And for entrepreneurs, community is very important because that's how you make connection and that's how you grow. Yes. So go to school. As an ex-teacher,
Yes.
I approve. Anastasiia.
So the advice I would give to myself is, it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. You don't always need to be perfect, and you have nothing to prove to anybody but yourself. If you want to do it, go for it. Don't wait for anybody's approval. Just do you. You do you.
Koné, un conseil que tu donnerais à la version, ta version de 15 ans, quand tu avais 15 ans, comme un adolescent. Qu'est-ce que tu te dirais à toi-même quand tu avais 15 ans?
Oh, wow. D'être moi-même.
Be yourself.
De prendre mon chemin. Parce que, comme je vous ai dit, on était dans une caserne destinée à être militaire. J'étais à l'école militaire.
Oh, so he actually was at military school. That's where he got his education. So he was saying, just walk your path. Yeah.
Donc, étant 15 ans, je voulais prendre mon chemin.
And when I was actually 15, I wanted to walk my path.
Donc, merci à l'univers que quand j'étais grand, je puis prendre la décision.
So I thank the universe that when I grew up, I was able to actually act on the decision that I wanted to make when I was 15.
J'allais dire à mon 15 ans, OK, il ne faut pas avoir peur, prends ton chemin.
Don't be afraid is what I would say, and walk your path. Okay, everyone? Is there one more question? Yes!
Peace, peace. Yes. So this question is directed towards Anastasiia and to Koné, and of course, you guys feel free to answer, but specifically because I heard you mention the mission of raising the universal vibration, and you mentioned wanting to teach the spirituality of African music to the world. As an artist myself, I feel like up until very recently in my journey, the mission of raising the collective consciousness has been at the forefront of my artistry. And so I think I took a bit of a militant kind of approach to it up until very recently. So I want to ask, in you guys' experience as artists, how does that mission come across in your art or your journey? How much does it affect your creativity? Do you think about it all the time, or is this something that naturally comes, or how does that work for you guys?
All right, I'll answer first. Thanks for the great question. For me, raising universal vibration in this kind of mission is something that came to me, let's say, during my first Vipassana. I don't know if you know Vipassana, 10-day meditation, retreat in silence. And when I could really hear myself and hear what I actually needed to do. And since that moment, I have been measuring everything I do against that benchmark. Does it raise universal vibration or not? What is raising universal vibration? For me, that coming with a definition, and the definition is anything that makes people have a better quality of life, anything that inspires people, anything that makes us as a whole, as a collective consciousness, elevates us, right? Elevates us into a different, more harmonious life. with the universe, because I feel there is a lot of disconnection. And so whatever I do, whether I teach, whether I perform or I talk or I connect to people, and the kind of things that I give, I not militantly, but in the moments of reflection, I was like, does it connect to my mission? And then also it helps me to direct my energy into something what I want to do. What I was like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. And I was like, but does that actually serves the mission that I have, or it doesn't? And that narrows it down for me, like, where do I actually go with it?
Got you. So it kind of helps to, I guess, streamline your energy, because you could do whatever you want.
Exactly, because I'm a very creative person, not just with music. I love, like, all the clothes I'm wearing right now, I made them. You know, like, things like that. You know, like, I love doing creative stuff, so I can get easily distracted. And for me, like, okay, my mission is this, and I'm just measuring everything I want to do against that mission. And if it aligns together, boom, we have a winner. And that's how it helps me.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that question, because it all has to do with also getting over all your challenges. Because the only way that you can do that is if you have that mission, if you have that vision. I actually call that more a vision for me. And I do a lot of vision work with people. And that's what I tell them. Like, when you have the vision, you don't care about anything else. It's the fire under your butt. Yeah,
right.
It's like, you know what you're supposed to do, and whatever happens, you keep that vision. That's what matters. That's a beautiful question. Thank you. So.
Yeah, I wanted to hear from.
Do you
Koné.
want? Yeah. Go.
Just real quick, with Koné is so interesting too, because you know, like you said, he's breaking the
mold. Yeah, he just
of
got
being
out.
a soldier, right?
Yes.
And I feel like it seems, from what I'm seeing, that you've taken a different approach at I don't want to call it fighting. You gotta watch your words, right? But yeah, how has the mission of spreading spirituality through the art manifested in your journey and in your art? Maybe translate.
Et je vais répondre en tant que spirituel, traditionnel, parce que moi, j'ai grandi en fait dans un camp militaire, et après, on était chrétien, catholique.
So this is going to be a very interesting answer, because he grew up on a military base, yes, but he also was raised as a Catholic boy. So that which was away from his traditional upbringing of his tribe, yeah.
Donc, grandi dans une ville, être dans une église catholique.
Yeah.
Donc, j'étais dans la spiritualité catholique.
So he was in the Catholic spirituality, Catholic faith.
Donc, j'ai joué l'instrument batterie, slagstock.
Yeah.
Et j'ai combiné le djembé. Et après, je me suis approché au griot. Parce que chez nous, c'est les griots qui sont détenteurs de la musique.
So in Mali, there is a family, a clan that is called the griot. And the griots are the people who are authorized to play music. They carry that. So it's by lineage, yes? Certain people do something, certain people do another thing. So the griots are known for music. And normally they are the only one who carry music from generation to generation. You don't jump from being in one clan or one family to become a griot. Yeah, that's not what you were born to do. So after he connected, to the djembe through his Catholic upbringing, he moved into the griot, which is the traditional, upbringing, but still not being his upbringing, because that's not his family.
Right. Donc, je viens pas de cette famille griot. Je suis dans une famille noble du Mali.
So he's in a noble family, not in a music family, not in the griot.
Donc, je me suis intéressé aux traditions. J'ai laissé l'église à côté un peu pour connaître comment les griots ont appris tout ça.
So I left the church, I put the church aside, and then I went to investigate about the griot and the music from my country.
Donc, quand je serai au Mali, je ne serai pas autorisé à jouer le djembé avec les griots.
So if he goes back to Mali, he is not authorized to play the djembe with the griot.
Mais je suis autorisé étant artiste à l'école et dans l'église.
But he's allowed to play the djembe in church and in school because he's an artist.
Donc, je me suis intéressé à la tradition pour être connecté à ma source parce que l'église nous a un peu éloignés de ça.
So I researched and I got connected to music because I wanted to get connected to where I come from, understand my origins, because the church took some of that away from me.
Donc là vient ma spiritualité aux traditions. Et maintenant, quand j'ai compris ça, j'ai essayé de combiner partout tout ce que je faisais. Et en Europe, j'ai vu que ça avait beaucoup d'impact de chanter et de donner la voix aux jeunesses, parce que tout le monde écoute la musique.
So that's how I connected to my spirituality through this voyage, through this journey back to my origins. And when I came to Europe, I understood that actually singing and playing had a real impact on young people and how it elevated them. And that's where my spirituality is.
Donc, je me suis donné cette mission de...
So I gave myself this mission.
Yeah. Donc, de toucher la jeunesse un peu avec ma voix.
To touch young people with my voice.
Et en Europe, de donner la tradition de djembé, la tradition de vivre en communauté et dans l'énergie africaine.
And in Europe, to share the djembe, to live in a community, and to share this African vibration, African culture.
Voilà, comme on vit dans la société avec la joie de djembé, kora, bala, bata, dundum. Donc j'ai essayé de yes.
How you live in the joy of playing all these different types of drums, because there is not only one type. Of course, every country, every culture has got many types.
Right. Well, hey, thank you, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Blessings.
Beautiful. So we are now going to listen to Ras.
All right.
Yeah. Where is your... We need you. Okay. We're going to swap places. Right. Beautiful. And we're going to do two things. We're going to listen to Ras. And after that... and your song is called Summertime, yes?
Like summer.
Like Summer. I love, she's like Summer. Ta-ta, that's beautiful. Okay. So we're bringing summer in everyone's life. And after that, we are completely and utterly authorized to finish the talk show with a little jam session. Brilliant. But first of all, let's listen to us. And Guzman, we need a microphone. Yeah, beautiful.
Gaston, you want to help in the... Yes. You want to help in the percussions? Like summer.
Love how you move like that, driving me crazy. Push up on you, girl, you wind right back. Got my heart racing. Now that the night still go on, yeah. Would it be so wrong if we dance no clothes on, hey? Just like summer. summer. It's so special, just like summer, just like summer, just like summer, 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 summer. Hey, a fresh glance, a fresh vibration, a fresh mind and conversation. I like your sex appeal, yeah. Coming closer next to me, baby. Hey, I'm hooked by your intro, and you and I can keep up the tempo. He tries like a crescendo, do re mi fa sol la si do. I know the stars align, and we can see with not the eyes. The feeling is special, special, yeah. Just like summer, just like summer, it's so special, just like summer, just like summer, just like summer, summer. Gaston, can we have a solo? You can give us a solo. Istimewa bagi musim panas. La la, oh my gosh. Dirimu tertulis atas standar. Namamu menari buatku tersenyum. Bagaikan singa bertemu yang lembut. Setiap hari serasanya holiday. Momen spesial bagai kau dengan lingerie. Hidup boring kalau gak sedikit nakal. Desamu bagi musik yang bernafas. Jujur diriku makin tergoda. Nona nona kamu ini la la awiwi. Ku melayang di angan dan mimpi. La la awiwi. So special bagi bikini. Hey, hey, just like summer. Hey, just like summer. Hey, it's so special, just like summer, just like summer, just like summer, 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 summer. SpeakuP Monday. All right, live music is all about interaction. Right now, I would like to hear your voices. It's super simple. It goes like this. Hey, AI, 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 ooh, AI, 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 ooh. Voice it. AI, 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 ooh. One more time. AI, 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 ooh. Hey, ooh la la, ah wee wee. Summer, 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 summer. Ooh la la, ah wee wee. Just like summer, summer, summer. Ooh la la, ah wee wee. Summer, summer, just like summer. Ooh la la, ah hey. This is Devin from Jumat Libur Sound System. Summer, 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 summer. Yeah, terima kasih. Thank you.
Another one?
Another one.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
that we talked about already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Okay.
Jamming.
This is something that everyone can sing because we
Alright.
all know that song.
Alright. Brother, come.
Okay. Alright, we're jamming now.
Jamming, 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 yeah.
I wanna jam it with you. Yeah, we're jamming.
We're jamming, jamming, jamming.
I hope you like it, I'm into. There's no rule, there's no bound. We can do it anyhow. I and I will see you through.
in Mount Zion, yeah, and rule on creation, yeah, we're jamming, jamming, oh, oh, wow, we're jamming, I want to jam with you, yeah,
Be like, no bullet, no bullet,
yes, sir.
no bullet can stop us now. We don't beg, no, we won't bow. Neither can we but not so. Your defender right, Africa must unite. 'Cause life it was for more than gold. Said we're jamming,
Jamming, jamming,
I want to jam it with you. We're jamming, 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 jamming. Hope you like jamming with you.
alright,
Jamming, jamming now.
I wanna jam it with you.
I want to jam it with you.
Hope you like it, jamming with you. Yeah, we're jamming. I wanna jam with you. Wanna jam, wanna jam. I wanna jam it, yeah. I wanna jam it with you, yeah, we're jamming, yeah, we're jamming, and I hope you like it, jamming too, yeah.
Now we're jamming, jamming, jamming. We're jamming, jamming, jamming. Now we're jamming, jamming, jamming. Jamming, jamming, now we're jamming, jamming, jamming. We're jamming, jamming, jamming. Now we're jamming, now we're jamming, jamming. Now we're jamming, jamming, jamming. We're jamming, jamming.
Hope you like it, jamming with you.
Speaker one day.
Make some noise. I wanna jam it, woo. Yes, sir.
Hey. Gracias.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice.